Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sister Elle here with you for the new moon in Pisces reading. Yes, how are you all? Very well, I hope. So what is the new moon in Pisces about to bring us? What is Pisces? Pisces is the 12th house on the wheel of the zodiac, the last sign of the zodiac, the last sign of the astro wheel. And what this is about letting go. It's about going with the flow of life and not fighting too much. It's about illusion and disillusionment. It's also about great creativity as well, and looking into the depths of our feelings and swimming through them. Pisces is usually a very peaceful sign. It deals a lot with compassion and sometimes victimization. The 12th house on Pisces rule prisons and institutions, mental institutions, places where we need to go to recover from any issues that we've had within our lives, or the hospitals when we're unwell, the prisons when we haven't kept in order with the status of the rules of the society that we live in, and any other form of institution. What it usually does, it gives you rest and it gives you time to rejuvenate and re-see things differently, see things in a different light, see what your actions are causing as a larger vibration out into your community. So the 12th house, I was saying, is ruled by Pisces, and right now this is where we're going to be having the new moon. And also at the time of the new moon is going to be at 15 degrees. So the sun and the moon will both be at 15 degrees of Pisces. So see where that is in your chart. So at the time of this new moon, also at 17 degrees, is the planet Saturn. Now Saturn has been bringing some law and order into the areas of government structures and how governments currently are being run. And as we can see all around us, everything is changing daily, and different rules are being brought in, and heads of government are acting in ways which is bringing change to how we may usually see that. And it's going to be long-lasting change with Saturn in Capricorn for the next 18 months now. It's been going on for about 3 years. So we've seen all this activity happen within the last 18 months about different ideas on how governments should run, etc. Pluto currently is at 22 degrees of Capricorn, and Pluto is reinventing yourself, rejuvenation. So we'll be looking at deep structures within ourselves and how we give authority to ourselves. And so this will be happening at the time of the new moon in Pisces. So I'll be looking at where Saturn and Pluto will be in your houses, and where the sun and the moon will be in your houses also. So I thought I'd use the Kyle Gray cards of ancestors and angels. It's a beautiful set of cards. And I also thought I would pull some oracle answers from the Doreen Virtue angel cards there. Yeah, so discipline and order is changing, and as we go through Pisces season, we'll be melting away. Anything that doesn't fit us, anything that doesn't serve us, is literally going to be washed away, whether we want it to or not, actually. So it's a good time to let go, time to feel yourself. What is it that you want for the oncoming future, for when the sun moves forward? So Pisces is seen as a time of relaxation, and I was going to write something else just then. Relaxation and recuperation. Okay, well, let's go with what we have now. So we have Pisces. You'll be having the first house of the sun and the moon in your sign. First house represents how we see our physical selves, how we feel about situations within our life, what we would like to change, what newness will we be bringing in at this time, Pisces. So you'll have a whole spectrum to look at, a whole time to look at yourself, how you want to reinvent yourself, and you'll have the help there of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So for you, that will be in your 11th house of groups. So you might have had a breakdown of groups that you associate with, and maybe you'll meet in new groups now. So that's where Saturn and Pluto are right now for you, Pisces, whilst the Sun and the Moon are in your first house. And the card for you, I thought that wanted to come out. Let's have a feel. Okay, let's see the card here. And the card for you is Moon. Like, need me googs. Oh, do you like me little crystal ball outfit? It's very good. She just jumped out of the cupboard and said, I want to be worn today. Okay, so it says, take time, take note of intuitive messages. So that's for you there, Pisces, with this new moon in your sign, Pisces, in the first house. So you can reinvent actions there in your first house, and Capricorn and Saturn and Pluto will help you with your 11th house. Okay, so we have Aries. You have the 12th house on the clock of the wheel. This is the house of Pisces. This is the house of letting go, the house of loss, the house of creativity. So you maybe have very creative dreams right now, Aries. And Capricorn, for the 10th house, you'll have Saturn and Pluto, putting some structure and order in your work activities or how you see yourself presented to the world. And the card for you is shape-shifting or shapeshifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. How beautiful. They're in the 12th house. Can be seen as gift giving as well. Gifts with creativity. And that's for you, Aries, in the 12th house. And as I said, Pluto and Capricorn in the 10th house. Pluto and Saturn, sorry, in the 10th house, giving you some structure with your work and the authority of yourself. Okay, and then we have Taurus. Taurus, you have the 11th house of the Sun and the Moon coming in for the new moon. And you also have the 9th house for Capricorn of Saturn and Pluto. So you may be having a restructure of your ideas, how you see far distance traveling, how you see other languages. Maybe they may be appearing to you in your atmosphere right now. Maybe you'll be learning another language. And with the Sun and the Moon in your 11th house, there'll be a shine on the groups that you hang around with, that you choose to hang around with, and you'll see a newness coming to birth there. So that's for you, Taurus. Let's see what card. Oops. Okay. This card wants to come out, and it says winter. Let's have a look in the googs. And it says, take care of your needs. Indeed, there, Taurus. A lot of the time we're looking so much after everybody else. It is really a time to take care of our needs. Especially now with the Sun being in the 12th house of rest and relaxation. So even though it's in the 11th house for you, maybe you'll be getting a newness with groups, and you'll be getting a more relaxed view on the areas that you put yourself into. Okay, then we have Gemini. You have the 10th house of the Sun and the new moon. And you have the 8th house of Saturn and Pluto. So Saturn and Pluto may have been giving you a regeneration in how you use other people's money, how you use your resources, how you see them. You might be having a bit of a change in that area. And with the Sun and the Moon in your 10th house, it will be highlighting authority figures in your life, or how you take your own authority into your hands. And the card for you is Traveler. Move in a new direction. So new directions may be coming for you there in the 10th house of how you use your authority there, Gemini. And the 8th house of other people's resources will be helping you restructure how you use that too. Excellent. So we have Cancer. Cancer, you have the 9th house of the Sun and the Moon. The 9th house is far distance traveling, languages. What else is the 9th house? It's about expansion of self, expression of self, I would say. So that's for you, Cancer. The Sun and the Moon will be shining a light on that. And Capricorn is your 7th house. And so Saturn and Pluto have been working a little bit on your relationships, one-to-one relationships, and how you coexist with others. And the card for you too is Traveler. So there may be some travel. Well, that is the card for far distance traveling, Cancer, in the 9th house there. And Saturn and Pluto will help you restructure these areas from the 7th house of how you use your relationships. Okay, then we have Leo. Leo, you're in the 8th house of the Sun and the Moon. Okay, you're in the 8th house of the Sun and the Moon, and like I was saying, the 8th house is how we use other people's resources, and it's about emotions also, I would say, the 8th house. It's very an emotional house. It's Scorpio, a very business orientated sign. So the 8th house is the Sun and the Moon will be shining on business propositions for you there, Leo, and you'll have some backup in the 6th house there, in the 6th house of work and health balance. So I think Capricorn and Pluto and Saturn have been restructuring your health and how you balance it out there, Leo. And the card we have for you is Spirit Fox. Trust your talents in changing times. Excellent. There you go, Leo. Trust your talents there in the 8th house. Bit of a deep house there. But at least once you're well grounded and rooted, you will be able to spring forth and use it in everyday motions. Okay, well done. Then we have Virgo. You have the 7th house of one-to-one relationships, and this is where the Sun and the Moon will be having a catch-up. So you may be having new ideas on relationships and how you work within your one-to-one relationships. And Pluto and Saturn will be in your 5th house of joys and pleasures. So I'm sure there's been a bit of a change there, Virgo, in how you enjoy yourself and how you spend your leisure time. And the card we have for you, Virgo. Okay, oh wow. Okay, you definitely wanted to come out. Is Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. And there you go, Virgo. A very soulistic time. I'm sure you'll be following those voices and seeing where they lead you at this time. And the 5th house of what you enjoy doing will be there backing you all the way with your newness. Okay, now we have Libra. Libra, you have the 6th house of the Sun and the Moon shining on you at this time with the Pisces Sun. And the 6th house is how we balance work and life, and also our health. And in the 4th house of stability, home and family, that is the area that Capricorn has been working for you. So you might have seen some restructuring in your home with Saturn and Pluto working on your behalf. And the card we have for you is Drum, Dream and Journey. So there you go, Libra. You may well be taking a journey in your 6th house of work and balance. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, now we have Scorpio. Scorpio, you have the 5th house of the Sun and the Moon. This beautiful new moon that we'll be having in Pisces at 15 degrees, bang in the middle of the sign. So we're learning how to walk at this time in the middle of the sign. The middle of the sign is like we're learning what's around us. We're being consciously aware or awakened to situations, and therefore can make changes that need making. Okay, so what was I saying? Scorpio, 5th house for you. And so the 5th house is joys and pleasures, so they may be highlighted for you there, Scorpio. So have a fine time there. And the 3rd house is where you'll be having, where you've had Saturn and Pluto. And so the 3rd house is conversations and neighbours, so, and short distance travelling. So there may have been some sort of change about there and reinvention. And you have shooting Shaolin Master, excuse me. Be graceful in movement and action. This card's beautiful. There you go. Scorpio in your 5th house of enjoyment, and the 3rd house of how we think and speak and communicate. Getting a little bit of restructuring there. Beautiful card for you. Okay, Sagittarius. All the cards are beautiful, yeah. Sagittarius, you have the 4th house of the sun and the moon shining on you. The 4th house is our stability, our family and our home. So there'll be the sun and the moon shining on there, bringing a newness. You may move to a new home or a new location. Sagittarius, also the 2nd house of how you use your own personal finances, how you value yourself. The 2nd house, there might have been some change and rejuvenation with Saturn and Pluto being in that area of the sky for you. So Sagittarius, let's see what card we have for you. This card wants to come out, and it says Stargazer. Set your sights higher. How amazing. You set your sights higher there, Sagittarius, in the 4th house of home and family and how you would like to live. And in the 2nd house of how you use your finances. There'll be some shifting going on there. It's good to be aware of where we are on the astro wheel. Okay, then we have Capricorn. You have the 3rd house of the sun and the moon. 3rd house is local communities, our friends, our neighbours, and short distance travelling. So those things may be bringing a newness for you there, Capricorn, at this time. And obviously you have Saturn and Pluto in your 1st house, so there might have been a lot of restructuring and regenerational issues happening within this past 18 months, with another 18 months to come. So Capricorn, you enjoy your 3rd house of communications, of neighbours and friends, and there may be a newness in that. And let's see the card for you. Okay, this one. It says Stag, trust and thrive. So there you go, Capricorn. You trust and thrive with those 2 malefic planets, Saturn and Pluto, in your 1st house there, giving you a bit of a restructure, a bit of a reshape. And you'll have the beautiful Pisces sun soothing you in your 3rd house of communications. Okay, then we have Aquarius. You have the 2nd house. The 2nd house is our values, our personal finances, and anything personal to us, really. It's ruled by Venus, the house of Venus, the house of Taurus. And currently, your sign Uranus will be moving into Taurus. I think it's in a few days' time. We're going to feel the earth shaking. We are going to feel the earth shaking indeed. I think that's around about the 7th or the 8th of March. And then you'll be in mutual reception because Venus is in your sign presently. She's just jumped into your sign, Aquarius. So we'll all be looking at love in a very strange way, in a different way, not the conventional type of love or relationships. So that will be coming up for all of us with Venus in Aquarius, and hopefully I'll be doing a video about that soon, or a catch up of that. So Aquarius, you have the 2nd house of the sun and the moon, and the 12th house for Saturn and Pluto. So you might have been having some restructure about dreams and imaginations, dreams and visions that you'd had previously are now changing and being a little bit disrupted and unearthed and rejuvenated, so they can come better and stronger. And the card that wants to jump out for you too is Traveller. Taurians like a bit of a travel there in the 2nd house. So the sun and the moon may bring a new opportunity there for you, Aquarius. Okay, and you have a great time with that. And the card for all of us on this beautiful, beautiful, soft and peaceful time of Pisces. I know it's not soft and peaceful everywhere. However, this is the energy of Pisces that it brings. Let's see what the card for all of us will be. and it says, Father Sky, trust in the unknown. Well, that's for definite, isn't it? Pisces is the unknown. It's the last, it's the loss, it's the dissolver. And this is the card of the energy for the new moon in Pisces. Okay, peeps, thank you very much, and you all take care.